KRBN. It's up like 1% every day. At this pace, it's gonna be at 100 in the next few months. That's good, right? So Pinterest at a pop, fading. Got rejected at that declining 20. Snapchat got rejected below the declining 50. What a move. So it went from 2440s to 4080. Bill getting rejected at declining 50. Unity got rejected at declining 20 in after hours. Amazon at the declining 50. FTNT at the declining 50. I'm seeing a theme here. Do you? Now that can obviously change after the open, but these are not random levels. Man, only thing I want is another 10-15% correction in the major indices. Like if we can go down another 10-15% from here, another leg down, like please, can we just have that? Get it over with. Chop is the worst. Chop, chop, chop. It's the worst market environment. Time to lose some money? Well, if you have that outlook, you probably shouldn't trade. And also, guys, you know, be careful trading these EPs in quotation marks. You know, these are not quality EPs that kind of run up into these declining moving averages. They're very prone to failure, just like AMD did 2 days ago. You know, gapped up into resistance, just straight down. You know, the best EPs are the ones that gap up over resistance areas. They don't have any, they don't have any moving averages above them. The moving averages are below them. You know, some stuff like Amazon, right? Look at it, you know. There are no EPs in downtrends. Rarely. U2, right? Gapped up into the declining 10 and now it's just going straight down. Yeah, Google, this one gapped up over all this range, but it's still faded because it's a weak market. That's the problem. DOCU. Yeah, DOCU was the one. Yeah, I saw that one, but I didn't trust it. Yeah, that was the... By the time it took out these moving averages, it was already way above its opening range highs. Or actually, you know what? The 60-minute opening range highs was just above the moving averages, so there was actually an entry point there. Huh. So there was actually an entry there. Oh well. But I'm looking at some of these stocks like Pinterest. Like it's you know, they're making money. They have, you know, they're growing, not hyper growth, but they're growing, right? Expected to grow EPS by 32% next year, and they have a PE of 22. Like, I don't know, some of these stocks are getting to value levels here. Well, some still have a long way to fall. Some of these unprofitable revenue growth stories, but some of these things, they're printing money and they're pretty cheap. Doesn't mean they need to go up, but it's just an observation. This Snapchat chart is bugging me out. It looks like this is today's candle, but it's not. This is today's candle. Kind of weird chart. Super weird chart. Yeah, Alibaba, PE of 2. Holy shit, man. Yeah, it's because of the China political stuff, right? If they PE 12. Oh, you mean forward PE? PE 13, I mean. But no matter how you slice and dice it, it's not expensive, right? Expect to grow 15%. But there's, you know, this political risk with this. That's the problem. Yeah, I use Marketsmith. But they're also pretty boomer. Could be so much better, but yeah. That's what happens when you put 50 boomers in an office. You get a mediocre product. One sector that is potentially setting up or starting to set up is the financials. Like those ETFs look pretty good. They just need to break out. They look like, they remind me about energy ETFs like a month ago. You know, these big bases that showed relative strength to the overall market. That's what these financial ETFs remind me of. Any oil gas name that is setting up now is a huge laggard. Just be aware. Any oil gas name that hasn't gone yet. Doesn't mean they can't go, but you know. How do you know which stocks are laggards? If you have a sector and all of those stocks in that sector are up a lot over the past month, but there's a few that have gone sideways during that time, ta-da! That's a laggard. Pfizer? Yeah, I don't like it's below the 50 though. Let's go sideways a bit more. Yeah, Tesla is kinda surfing the 150. But it has a lot of work to do. It's been showing some stability over the past week or so. But it's in the middle of nowhere. I don't know, it's hard to know. Full on short snap. Can't be 50% up in a market like this on okay earnings. You know that the word can't, it's a very dangerous word in the markets. Because it is up 50% on a day. And actually, it's only up 11% in the past 2 days. So it's not as big of a move as it looks like. Be careful. The word can't in the markets can be very expensive. And also the thing with Snap is, look at how it's holding above the declining 20. I would be more confident if it was below the declining 20, but it's actually holding above, you know. I'm passing, you know, I don't know if it's gonna go up or down. It's just not, you know, it's a middle of nowhere. For me, it's like gambling. This is what I want to see in an EP. Above all the moving averages, taking out the range, big volume, nothing above. For me, this and this and this and this and this, you know, these are no trades. Spill is working, but it's kind of running up into from the downside into the 200 and into the declining 50. You know, there's a big chance it gets rejected around those areas. But for day trades, sure. I mean, for day trades, you can probably trade these things. Day trades, you can trade them long, short, sideways, upside, downside. Would I trade EP on the short side? No, I don't trade EPs on the short side because it works very differently. It's much harder. And you have the numbers against you. Do you have any other investments than your boat? Boats are not investments. They're depreciating assets. It's just for fun and giggles. Brian Shannon said hourly time frame is inaccurate because of the half-hour difference. Well, yes. If you look at the hourly chart and don't include the pre-market data, the first candle is half hour. Something you have to be aware of. So it's not the same as the rest of the candles. If you include the pre-market, it doesn't matter. But yeah, but it's not inaccurate. It's just you have to be aware of it. But yeah, there may be difference between different platforms. I don't know. This is how it's in TC2000. Peloton wants single digits. Oh man. Zoom also, man. These moving averages, guys, the 10, 20 and 50. On the daily, on the weekly, on the monthly. These things are, oh man. DOCU. Yeah, it's still, yeah, it went down a little bit after the gap up. Or gap down, sorry. How much is it down now? 64%? Like, the thing is, every time I see these stocks kind of blow up on earnings, like Facebook, PayPal, Netflix, DOCU, this and that, you know, I get more and more excited because what happens is expectations kind of reset. You lower the bar overall in the markets. And the more that happens, the more stocks go lower, the better, you know, the more opportunities we're gonna have later in this year. Because the thing, what happened after COVID thing, you know, that the bull market we had, I mean, there were so much excesses building up. Like you had people, you know, it was like 99, 2000 over again. You know, people were quitting their jobs to trade. You know, people who had been trading for 8 months were quitting the jobs. They made more money trading, right? But they didn't realize they were just bull market geniuses. It's the exact same thing that happened in 99, 2000. And now they're all on tilt and want to get the jobs back. And the expectations on some of these stocks, they got so high. And it's good we get a little bit of reset and some, let's say, realistic expectations back into the markets, because that's where big runs start, right? Remember the 2020, 2021 bull market started from after the COVID sell-off. It started after a big washout in the markets. And we are already now getting a washout. I hope it gets worse. Because that's historically where most of my money has been made. It's after corrections. That's where you get the easy money. Things can just go straight up. Yeah, I mean, Tesla, I'm actually surprised too. I would have thought with all this carnage, Tesla would be down more. But it's actually holding up. And for now, building higher lows on the 150. Is it building a bear flag, or has it found some support here? Too early to tell. Too early to tell. But it is holding up very well. Yeah, I mean, I've never traded as little as I have this year. Never. I've traded so little. Like, I've had many days this year I have not placed a single trade. Like today, I haven't placed a single trade. I'm not over trading, but I'm over the clicking. I'm constantly looking for trades. I'm gonna get arthritis in my finger, clicking like a maniac. That's how I get my dopamine kick. That's how I keep the addiction under control. The energy drinks, I doubt that. I heard energy drinks are good for your teeth. I always take a sip of energy drink after I brush my teeth every night. I read it's very good for your teeth. It's like mouth water, but better. A lot of growth software names are up today. But that's what happened like earlier this week too, on Monday I think. All the software tech stocks were up. And the next day they tanked. You know, it's a very treacherous market. Some of these names look like they want to have another leg of the bounce, like this this kind of. Now it's kind of surfing above the 20-day. Like it kind of looks like it wants to aim for the 50-day. Well, some of the other ones like Square and Shopify just look like crap. How did you enter MOS? I clicked the buy button. Look, this thing has been showing, you know, has some momentum, right? And it showed relative strength during the market sell-off. And the first day the market eased, this thing broke out. I have no idea what this year, I mean, maybe it will be a super tough year. But honestly, the kind of starting point for this year is pretty good. We had a correction. Now, obviously this correction can get much worse, but if it doesn't, you know, the big money is made after corrections. So I don't know. It can be a super tough year, but it could also be a very good year. Good year? Yeah, I said buy good year. Yeah, that's true. Kenny boy only up 5%. Do you realize 5% in a month is huge for a fund? It's like enormous. Like if you make 5% every month, that's like what? Over 70% per year. That's huge. It's not only, it's actually pretty huge. Yeah, exactly. And especially on the asset base, it's enormous. It's enormous amount of money. It's more because of compounding. Yes, I already included the compounding effect. It would be 60% without compounding. It's over 200%? No, it's not. I think it's about 70% or so. Exactly, I said 70%, not 60. Come on, guys. 80%, there you go. I underestimated the compounding effect. Yes, yeah, we get it. Yeah, it's 79%. Yep. I just did some quick math in my head. I didn't come... I was halfway close. Yeah, this SM looks good, but I just don't like it. I just have a hard time trusting laggards. Why is the overall market rallying today? Is it because of Amazon earnings? Why wouldn't it be rallying? What's the reason for the market not to be rallying? Like, guys, instead of looking for reasons for the market to be up or down, know that the market is up about 50% of all days and down about 50% of all days. That's all the reason you need to know. That's the reason why the market is rallying. And that's the reason the market was it down yesterday? Yeah, it was down yesterday. Because about 50% of the days it's down, about 50% it's up. Don't overcomplicate things. Well, you can, but if you want to make money, you don't need to. Exactly. Market is up when there are more buyers than sellers, and market is down when there are more sellers than buyers. Simple supply demand. Alright guys, I'm gonna cut the stream now. Thanks for joining, and see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone.